Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today we're doing a head-to-head between the Warrior Mini 2 from Olight and the new TN12 Pro from ThruNite. So these are both, I would call medium size, maybe a little bit moving towards larger size, EDC flashlights. These are definitely both lights that I would carry in my pocket. This one's gonna be more toward the size of like the Phoenix PD35 TAC or the 35 TAC, I think it's called. Just a little bit larger. This one's a little bit more compact. Similar outputs, getting close to about 2,000 lumens at the turbo level. And let's talk through the details, and then we'll take these out tonight to compare them. And then you can see what you think about these two lights and if one of them fits into your system. Give you the rundown here on the ThruNite first. So obviously you get the flashlight. You're also gonna get a battery included. So let me take that out and show it to you right now. A 3400 milliamp hour 18650 battery. When you first look at the light, you may feel like, does that hold a 21700 or an 18650? It is the 18650, as you can see. This is a rechargeable flashlight. You can see there's one of your activation switches there, another one there. And then over on, where is it there on the side, you can see your little rubber cover for the USB-C. I do like the fact that it is USB-C. That is definitely a win. I will tell you that when you put this cover back on, you got to finagle a little bit. I tend to kind of put the end down in and then flatten it out like so. Here's the box that it comes in. It does come with a couple other things inside. You get the instruction manual. You also get a little bag here that's got a lanyard and some rubber covers for the various ports and things. You do get your USB-C cord, and then you do get your sheath as well. There's what it looks like when you have the flashlight in the holster or sheath. It does have a pretty beefy plastic D-ring on the back, and then you got a loop to run your belt through if you want to do that. So that's all the stuff you get with your ThruNite flashlight. Let's talk about outputs on the ThruNite now, okay? So we have Strobe, 560 lumens, that's for 4.5 hours. Firefly, which is 0.5 lumens for 37 days. You have low, which is 50 lumens for 46 hours. You have a medium at 220 lumens for 9 hours. A high at 550 lumens for 2.5 hours. Your turbo is 1900 lumens for 7 minutes, and then it's gonna drop down to 477 lumens for 130 minutes. Drop resistant to 1.5 meters and IPX8 rated, so good down to 2 meters underwater. So yeah, you've got basically 1900 lumens. It's gonna run for 7 minutes and then it's gonna drop down. I will tell you, when it's on that highest output, the light does get hot, so just be aware of that. So 550 lumens for 2.5 hours, that's straight. So you can run it at 550, 2.5 hours without having it drop down to 100 after 2 minutes or something. So that's the rundown on the ThruNite. Overall thoughts about it. This is true for both of the lights actually, but this one does have the switchback, so you can put it on a hat. Because of the size of it and the weight of it, it's definitely gonna be front heavy, but you can do that. When you hit the end pressure switch, it's gonna come on at the turbo. That's just what it does. If you hold down the side switch, it's gonna come on at Firefly, click and it goes off. When you just click it, it's gonna come into the last output that you had other than Firefly or turbo. So now hold it, it's gonna cycle through. So there's your low, medium, high, low, medium, high. If you triple click, it'll go to strobe. So strobe warning here, 1, 2, 3. There's your strobe, click and it goes off. All right, so if you hold it on, it's gonna come on at Firefly, let go, and then hold it on again, and it's going to go into lockout mode. Now when you hit this, let's see if you can see that. Yeah, it's really hard to see, but it does flash red real quick. And that basically says, it's in lockout mode. To get out of lockout mode, just hold it down. And there you go, now it's back onto Firefly. Lockout mode, here's a thought for different companies if you're listening. So I like the idea of lockout mode because if you put it in your pocket, you put it in a bag, it's not gonna get bumped and turned on. However, if it's in lockout mode and then something in my bag leans against it, it's gonna just come on, right? So I don't know if it's like 5 clicks or something, 6 clicks, 10 clicks. Streamlight had a thing, one of their lights, we had to do 10 taps to shift it to another mode, which may seem excessive, but the reason that's great is because it's not gonna accidentally shift to the other mode. So as far as companies and lockout modes, I'd recommend something other than just the accidental press, because if something in your bag leans against it, boom, it's gonna unlock and come on, and then you're gonna be wasting your battery. It's good that it doesn't come on at turbo, but it'll still come on and use your battery up. So there's a rundown on the ThruNite. Let's talk about the Olight now. So a couple details on the Olight. You do have the switchback, so you can put it on a hat as well. This is lighter than the ThruNite. It does have the ring so that you can, use it and then basically get it out of the way, hands free like this, and then swing it back around, and now you've got this ready to go. That is your end pressure switch. You hold it down, or click it in, it's gonna lock in. You can also hold down lightly and then let go, hold down lightly and let go. It is magnetized. It's not for so much to put under the hood of a car. It's more for attaching the charging cable. So with the Olight, it's gonna come in the box. You're gonna get the battery, you're gonna get the clip, you're gonna get the charging cord, and sometimes they throw in some extras. Generally, Olight is not gonna give you a carrying case for this light. So I'll double check, but I'm like 90% sure. I got this a while ago. I'm 90% sure that the Warrior Mini 2 doesn't come with any kind of sheath or anything like that. I don't ever use the sheath, so it's not a big deal to me, but maybe it is to you. You usually do get a lanyard with these lights, but because this guy has the ring, I would prefer to use that over a lanyard anyhow. So very similar in overall size. This one's got that knurling on the top there versus this one's got knurling, or kind of an aggressive bezel there, whereas this one is aggressive but a little bit less aggressive, I would say. Quickly, I want to mention the ThruNite with the battery is coming in at 4.59 ounces. The Olight's coming in at 4.3 ounces, and it is IPX8 rated. And let me give you the rundown on the output. So you have your Firefly, that's 1 lumen for 45 days. You have 15 lumens for 164 hours. You got 120 lumens for 19 hours. And then you have 500 lumens dropping down to 200 lumens. It says 218 and then to 55. I'm assuming that means 218 minutes at 500 lumens and then dropping down to 55 minutes. I'm assuming that's what that means. And then your turbo output is 1750 for 4 minutes, drops to 500 for 200 minutes, drops to 200 lumens for 40 minutes. So you got that 1750 for 4 minutes, that's gonna drop down and then eventually drop down again. So those are your outputs. Comparing the two, similar in size, similar in look. I do think overall Olight just does a better job making their flashlights look cooler than ThruNite, so I think ThruNite could step their game up on that. Phoenix, I think, does a good job at making their flashlights look cooler. But similar, more output here, but basically not a ton more, 1750 to 1900, so not a huge difference between those two. Run times are pretty similar between the two. Yeah, so there's a kind of a rundown of the two. You can obviously see that the TN Pro is about half an inch bigger, I would say. A little bit heavier, but that's the rundown on these two. Let's take them out to the night and use them now. Okay, we're inside now, and we're gonna test out the Olight first. Here is 1 lumen. You can see a tiny bit reflecting around here. Let's go up to 15. So there's 15 in this kitchen. Let's go up to 120. So definitely plenty of light for inside now at 120. Go up to 500 here. Obviously you can see everything just fine now. 500, and now up to 1750. All right, we got the ThruNite now. We'll start at 0.5 lumens here. This is the Moonlight or the Firefly setting. Immediately you can see it's got a kind of a tighter beam. At least the center beam is going to be more pronounced. This is 0.5 lumens. Let's go up to low. We'll go to 50 here. All right, we'll go up to 50 lumens now. Definitely plenty of light to operate around the house, move around. Next, go up to 220. So there's 220. Again, plenty of light for inside. Now we got 500. There's 500 lumens. And now we're going to go to 1900, which is your turbo output. Okay, we're outside now. We're going to go from 1 lumen up to 1750 with the Olight again. We're looking at my truck, which is about 30 feet away, maybe 25 feet away. Here's our lowest setting. You can see a little bit of reflection off the front of the lights there. That's your low. There's your medium. There's your high. And now we'll go to turbo. There's your turbo. All right, let's switch over to the ThruNite now. All right, ThruNite on your Firefly setting. Now, you can't really see it on camera so well, but you can see my hand a little bit there. But even with the off camera with the human eye, I can definitely see better with this one looking at the truck. So definitely just a brighter center beam in this one compared to the Olight. All right, here comes your low. Go up to medium. And then high. There's your high. And now we'll go to turbo. Yeah, very clear, both inside and outside with these first two tests, that the center beam is definitely brighter on the ThruNite than the Olight. Which again, if you want something a little bit more floody, then maybe the Olight is the option for you. But definitely a hotter center beam on this ThruNite. All right, we're going to do side by side now. We're going to have the Olight on the right and the ThruNite on the left. So this is the Olight over here and the ThruNite over there. And we're going to shine them off toward the stone wall there and just compare the different settings and just let you look at them. All right, so here's low for the Olight versus ThruNite. So obviously you're definitely seeing more with the ThruNite over here than the Olight over here. Let's go our next setting up. So we got Olight over here, ThruNite over here. So I mean, you can see all the way out to the wall with this one, and then with the Olight, I can see with the human eye, but definitely not picking it up on the camera. Next setting up. All right, ThruNite over here on the left. Here's the Olight on the right. Now you're able to pick up the wall and over to the edge of the woods with the Olight. So again, Olight here, ThruNite here. All right, we'll go to the turbo setting on both. So we have 1750 on the right for the Olight, 1900 for the ThruNite on the left. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious right here, right? You got a wider center beam and more spill out from there, and definitely a tighter center beam over here. And it's going to punch further out into the night for the ThruNite versus the Olight. All right, one last test. It's going to be the strobe. So strobe warning. First up is the Olight. And now the ThruNite. Again, strobe warning. All right, back here wrapping up talking about the Warrior Mini 2 versus the TN12 Pro from ThruNite. Price point, we're looking at about 50 bucks. We're looking at about 90 bucks. So pluses and minuses of each one. Right off the bat, you can see a difference in price. So that's something to keep in mind. A much hotter center beam and a much floodier light. So in general, when I've compared ThruNites and Olights, that's the kind of general feel, right? More floody, more of a hot center. So a better spotlight, not as much wide light, not as much flood, but you're getting that light that's really punching out into the night. This is giving you a broader light. So that's one thing. Another thing with this, I didn't talk a ton about, but you can see this little kind of cutout there. So when the light is on and then you put your hand closer, it's going to drop down the amount of output so it doesn't basically start a fire. That's the purpose of that. This does come with the ring. This one doesn't. This has a magnetic base for attaching it to the charger. It will magnetically attach to the side of something, but because of the weight of it, it doesn't stick really well. So I would like to see more companies that use a rubber push activation switch on the bottom, that they would magnetize the edge of this so you can actually attach it still to something even though you have a rubber switch. I've yet to see a company do that. I think that could be a huge win. So again, 50 bucks, 90 bucks, less expensive, more output, less output at the turbo level. Not a huge difference in the different outputs as far as your lumens, but you can see the difference in the quality of the light and what it looks like going out into the night. This one's definitely a little bit bigger. I think that may be a little bit too big for some people for EDC. This one is definitely more EDC friendly. Even without the ring, you could take that off. But to me, the most obvious thing is the price point difference. To have this be basically a $40 difference, you can almost get 2 of these for the price of one of these. So, you know, in general, when you're going to save that much money, I'm willing to go in for one of these, and even if it breaks, I can basically buy another one and still be almost even for what I'm going to pay for the Olight. Now, obviously, there's some people out there who are, I feel like Olight's done a really good job creating people who are like fans of Olights. So they're like, I'm just going to carry Olight flashlights. That's cool. If you're willing to diversify a little bit, ThruNite, I think, is a company worth looking into. ThruNite, if you're listening, I would encourage you guys to lean into your marketing more. You guys had a lot of people doing reviews and promoting your lights in the past. You're not doing that as much anymore. Olight has definitely got a lot of just their name out there. So you got to step up your marketing game to get people more people to know about your lights. Do different colors, spice up your website a little bit. It's a little bit bland. Olight definitely has some more flash, haha. It just looks nicer, I would say, overall. But that being said, when you compare the two, I do prefer more of a hot center beam and less flood. But this is a good EDC light. It's just that, you know, I got mine for free a while ago for review. So if I'm going to pay 90 bucks, I'm probably going to invest my money in something even a little bit bigger. 90 bucks, we're getting close to 100. We're looking into the Surefire, you know, world at that point for me, who makes an excellent product. Or you could pick up 2 of these for the price of that. So overall, I do like the ThruNite better as far as the overall function. I do like that this is a little bit smaller, but that's my take on it. Let's hear your thoughts and your feedback. What do you like between the two? What would you change? Who wins when you compare the Warrior Mini 2 from Olight and the ThruNite TN12 Pro? Let's get that conversation started in the comment section now. Thanks as always for checking out the videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.